Okay, so this evening we're going to go airport hopping northeast of Anchorage in Alaska. I was looking around on the map for somewhere interesting to fly in Flight Simulator 2020 and happened to spot there's a cluster of airports northeast of Alaska. If I zoom out slightly, there's Anchorage, sorry, northeast of Anchorage, not Alaska. So northeast of Anchorage, there's this huge cluster of airports that are very close to each other. So I thought that might be quite good fun to go and fly around them in a Cessna and go and do touch and goes at each airport and have a look at the scenery on the way. So I've programmed it into a little nav map and you can see some of the airports. If we go and switch over to topographical view, then it's all fairly flat around here. There's mountains over here and there's mountains over to further to the east of us, but the actual route we're taking is fairly flat ground. So I just thought it might be an interesting journey to do, really. So we have our Cessna sitting on the ground at Birchwood. The destination for us is the Lawrence airstrip, and you can see that's highlighted on the flight plan here. So we're flying from PABV, which is Birchwood, to 55AK, which is Lawrence airstrip. So off we go. I'm just going to release the parking brake. We just check around quickly, and we haven't got flaps out yet. We have now. So let's face back forwards again, and we're off. So it shouldn't actually take too long to do this journey because the airports aren't very far away from each other. In each case I may circle the airport before I land at it just to have a look. So 70 knots, let's rotate gently and we're up. I've got it on realistic day and time, so in the UK here where I'm sitting it's 9:30 in the evening. So I'm going to start making a gentle turn. So I'm guessing Alaska is about 8 hours or 7 hours behind us. So it's probably 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Should we do a circle before we set off, just so we get to have a look at the scenery? See what things look like around here. It's quite barren, isn't it? Get some altitude. Raise the flaps. Starting to gain some airspeed. Okay, so we're going to set off towards 55AK Lawrence airstrip. So I'm just keeping an eye on the map and get the airplane pointed in that direction. And off we go. So I'm going to trim the airplane out so it's not climbing or diving too viciously. I'm going to pull the RPM back slowly. So let's go and look at the autopilot. So this is the Cessna with the G1000. So we should be able to go, we want to change the heading, so if we press it, it will recenter. We can go to heading hold mode, we can go to altitude hold mode, and we can turn the autopilot on. So it's going to basically hold, it's going to go for the nearest 100 feet to wherever we were at. So it's going for 900 feet, it's holding the direction we had pointed it in. And you can see we're tending back towards the vector. So none of these airports are going to be very far away from each other. So let's have a look around while we're out here. So the water going by down there. If we go and look outside, there's our aeroplane. Going to be interesting to see what sort of detail they have for these various little airports. So we're about halfway to the first airport now. So I'm going to change the heading slightly. To 285 degrees. I'm just watching that we'd actually crossed over the vector, so I'm turning back slightly. So where's this first airport then? It should be not too far inland. If we scoot sideways and scoot up a little bit in the cockpit, it should be over here somewhere. Can we see it? Are we looking in the right place? Is this it here? I think it might be. We'll know when we get a bit closer. So I'm going to disengage the autopilot. Going to be quite an interesting landing because it's nowhere near flat by the look of it, and it's down in amongst the trees. So we'll see how we go. Let's go and put ourselves back in the pilot's seat and sit up slightly so we can see over the dash. Flaps down. So we're just going to do touch and goes. We're not going to do anything spectacular. We're not going to bother with air traffic control, otherwise we'll be talking to airports all along the whole route rather than actually looking at anything. It's a cool little airport actually. Try and miss these trees. Take off again. Trying to raise the flaps but not raise the nose too much because I need to get airspeed back. It's a bit of a balancing act. So next airport is going to be PAGQ, Big Lake. So we'll turn to about 270 again, I guess. And let's get the plane trimmed out again. Way. The engine back. So, where is Big Lake? I'm not using the autopilot, by the way. I've just trimmed the aeroplane to fly nice and fairly level. I'm obviously going to have to play with the trim along the way because speed is varying and the wind is varying. PAGQ, Papa Alpha Golf Quebec, Big Lake Airfield. So again, we may, if it's not clear, we may circle the airfield first before touching down. Okay, so I think we can see the airfield now. It's this along here. So if we come right, we don't need to circle. mouse out of the way. Flaps back down. So we're just going to gently bring it in, losing speed. Got flaps full down. It's a very short runway. Quite glad we're doing a
500.
Touch and go, not trying to stop. I don't think it would be a big problem. So as soon as we leave here, we're going to double back. So accelerate, get rid of some of the flaps so we get some speed over the ground, back up to 70 knots, and we're up. Now we're immediately turning. Next stop for us is 89 AK Lincoln Village. Turn, flaps up. Cut the engine back, just cruise along, trim the aircraft out. Probably don't need to be sitting quite so high in the cockpit. Should have a look around. It's quite barren, isn't it? I already said that. I'm getting some mist. Should we change the time of day to make it look a bit more dramatic? So we take it into the It's quite dark though, isn't it? Yeah, I'll put it back on realistic. I'll say live weather, please. So, should be slightly left of our nose out here. Is this it here? Or is that it over there? We'll know when we get a bit closer, won't we? Looking at the way we're approaching it, it should be 90 degrees to us and off of the left of our nose, which is fine. That means we can dive in. Is this it? I think it might be. Or is that a road? No, that's a ditch of some description. I'm hoping that's a ditch and that's not the runway, because it doesn't look like a runway. Just looking at the map, I think that was it. So let's go down closer and have a good look at it. So drop the flaps to get some drag. I think this might be a glitch in the scenery, you know. We'll certainly do the approach though, see what it looks like. I think there's an altitude mistake. Almost certainly. Well, we got away with it, but there's an altitude mistake then. I wonder if I should report that to Microsoft later. So Lincoln Village has a problem in the scenery. Next is AK-27 Valley Flying Crown. So that's over this way. Looking to see if there's any others that we can fit in along the way. There's this 10AK which I don't have on my route, but if it's easy to land there, I can't see why we shouldn't. Let's have a look from outside. Is that really an airstrip? I think it might be. Or maybe this is
500.
Yeah, it looks a bit dangerous. Probably only any good if you've got a much more manoeuvrable aeroplane. So let's zoom this map in. So we'll give that a miss. It's right below us now actually. 10AK. Presumably that must mean you can land anywhere around here then. And oh, that's it.
500.
Oh, should we have a go at it? It's got to be worth a go, hasn't it? So do a quick U-turn.
500.
If I end up breaking the plane, it's all my fault. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure that is... No, that's just a road. There's a massive hill there, look.
Stall.
Whoa, don't spin, don't spin, don't spin. Nose down, nose down. Full throttle, remove the flaps, get the speed back up. Okay. Maybe that should be a lesson to me to stop messing around. Trying to land everywhere. Oh, that's the airstrip. You can see it now. It's just a grass airstrip. Okay. So, the next one is Valley Flying Crown AK-27. Let's have a look around while we're flying along. There's a lot of trees out here, isn't there? There's a lake. There's lots of small lakes around. So let's go and have a look on little nav map and see where we are in relation to the plan. So Valley Flying Crane is further north of us. Of course, Microsoft Flight Simulator has rounded off the corner on the flight plan, which it does. So we want to go this way. It should take us straight to it. So we should see it any time soon on the map. Yep, here comes the waypoint. AK-27 Valley Flying Crown, and I think we can see it perpendicular to our line of travel. So if I do a left turn, with a bit of luck we'll be able to see it over there. So let's get the nose down, pull the throttle back. Over there, isn't it? Or is this it here? Or is that just a suburban road? No, that's the wrong way. There it is. It's in the trees. Okay. So if I double back, if I turn left and circle, then we'll be able to go land there. Okay, so flaps back down. And there's the runway. Okay, flaps back up to just flaps 1. Get the speed back up, rotate, and we're back in the air again. So our next destination is 5AK8 Memory Lake. So we will follow this line on the flight plan. A few miles further along we should find Memory Lake. We're slowly circling back towards where we came from. We're just going airport by airport around the area. It is quite bizarre to me that there are so many airports. So we'll flaps up. We don't have any drag. We can just tootle along at 70 or 80 knots. So let's have a look on this nav map, see how we're doing. So okay, this is a bit of a longer leg this time. I say a long leg, 5 miles. So let's have a look out at the scenery as we're tootling along. So if we look out in front of us, can we see the airport yet? Should be appearing on here soon. Let's turn the range up. 5AK8 is Memory Lake, which is this one, so we can see it. So there's a waypoint here, Watub. So there's the water, so it must be right here. So what orientation is the runway to us? Is it behind the trees down here? It should be on this corner. Flaps back down. Let's turn away and roll back in. Just to lose a bit of speed and height, to be honest. There it is. This probably isn't the safest approach ever, but full throttle. A bit closer than you would like, really, and we're having trouble getting airspeed. Raised the flaps already. Yeah, we're fine now. That was a little bit dangerous, so we carry on. 4AK6 Wolf Lake, which is going to be just off the map over here. So let's let the nose drop, get some speed back. Sit up a little bit. And I think that's it. So we've got a straight in approach. So after Wolf Lake, we're on to Sky Ranch, which is AK50. Yeah, this looks like a much bigger airport, to be honest. full throttle. And rotate. And we're back up. And we climb out and turn right. Flaps up. So we're on to the second to last stop, which is AK50 Sky Ranch. Have a look at little nav map and see where we've got to. Oh, this is quite a long leg. There's a Four Corners airfield here. Should we see if we can drop in and fit an extra one in? Flaps down. Be quite a fast one, coming in at 100 knots. If I lose any of that speed. Okay, we'll carry on with our flight plan now. All pylons, electricity lines. We've got quite good speed though, we're fine. There's a road going over the hill over here. So we can now see on the bottom right of the map on the right hand MFD AK50 Sky Ranch. Nearly there. Should we fly low over the trees to get there? Make it a bit different. Come in at treetop height for a change. Be careful, there's pylons down here as well. Okay, so where is Sky Ranch? I think we're going to be right on top of it before we even know it's there. So it looks like the runway. There it is. So after the touch and go here, we turn towards home. Flaps are back up. We have airspeed. And we turn towards home. Okay, so plane's trimmed down, cut the engine back a little bit. Don't want to go too fast. So how far is the final leg? Let's zoom out and have a look. 11 miles. 12 miles nearly.
500.
That's probably that beacon we can see. Yeah, it's across the water. Hilltop AK-24. Let's have a look around while we're en route. How are we doing? So we need to take a bit of a left turn. Just over here somewhere. Should we have a look at the traffic as we fly past? Let's cross over to the other side of the river. Or the waterway, I should say. It's not really a river, is it? It's more of an estuary. How are we doing in terms of the plan? We're getting there. How long is this final runway? 1,461 feet. So it's quite a short runway. But it should be fine. We'll just come in nice and steady with the flaps down. No drama. There's no massive turbulence or wind around today. We can see on here, look, there's 4 knots wind. And it's a tailwind, so maybe we'll circle around and come back in just to make sure we do make it properly. So we'll pass Hilltop, turn around and come back. Means we get to have a look at it. So here comes our destination on the map. It's AK-24. So it's after the second body of water. We're about to draw level with the first, which is that one. Then there's the second one. And then it's over here. So is that it there? I think it might, or is it this one? Oops. Is it this one here? Let's go closer and have a look. Okay, so where is the airfield? Should be left of us right now. There it is. Okay, that's fine. So I'll fly over the freeway over here and turn back. And there's the airport. So the Cessna should stall at about 40 knots, so we just need to keep that in mind. Give us a little bit of room.
Stall. 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 Stall.
That was right on the limit, wasn't it? But we got in. Plenty of room to spare. We're going to taxi up and park up over here by this fuel tanker. That's if he doesn't drive into us, of course. Is there any parking area for aircraft? Way! That would have taken our wing out, wouldn't it? I presume this is just a turning area. Yeah. Awesome. So there we go. A tour of the airfields northeast of Anchorage in Alaska. Why there's an enormous tanker truck on the edge of the runways, I will never know. But anyway, I'll close the video now.